All right, guys, today is the first lesson in our new unit. It's called 2D geometry, okay? I showed you in class what the new homework and note packets were, but they are the ones that say area on them. Now, you need paper, pencil, calculator, your notes open to page 2 through 4, and your homework packet open to page 2 through 5. Now, we are going to skip to the top of page 3 to start this. Guys, for whatever reason, I think these got photocopied backwards. So find the page that has special properties of triangles. It says page 3. Find that right now. Now, today we are going to learn all about triangles. The first thing we learn, okay, it says the sum of the interior angles, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Guys, super important. Every triangle has 180 degrees in it. 180 degrees. You are going to need to know that. Learn that now. Okay? A triangle, 180 degrees. So, look at this example. Example 1. Find the missing angle in this triangle. Well, this is n, this is 95, and this is 50. So our equation is going to be n plus 95 plus 50 has to equal 180. Guys, you are going to have to be able to do this. So make sure you learn right now that a triangle has 180 degrees in it. Now, how do I solve this? Well, I don't have anything on this side to add to n, so I bring my n down. 95 plus 50 is 145 equals 180. Remember, when we're solving equations, we simplify both sides by combining like terms. Solve this by subtracting 145 from both sides, so n is 35 degrees. So that angle right there will be 35. How can you check this? Well, I can check it by taking our three angles, 95 plus 50 plus 35, and when you add those together, you do get 180 degrees, so we know that we are correct. Now we're going to go back. I wanted to talk about this first because I'm going to use this in this next part of the lesson. Find this chart, classifying triangles. Okay, classifying triangles. There are two ways to classify triangles, by sides. I'm going to do the sides first. An equilateral triangle has 3 equal sides. Now, even more important, you need to know that if it has 3 equal sides, it also has 3 equal angles. Guys, write that down. 3 equal sides means 3 equal angles. So, here's a triangle. Let me show you how we use notation on polygons to show that they are equal. 3 equal sides. Look. 1 hash, 1 hash, 1 hash. That notation shows you that all 3 sides are equal. How do we show that 3 angles are equal? Look. 1 hash, 1 hash, 1 hash. 3 equal angles. Okay? That is notation that you are going to need to know. Now, I'm going to erase this because I don't want this to get too jumbled. If we have 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles, and we know that every triangle in the world has 180 degrees, 180 divided by 3 is 60. So, each one of these angles would be 60 degrees. Notice how I'm writing that on the angle. If I was able to use my pen in a better fashion, I would write 60 inside here. Okay, 3 equal sides, 3 equal angles, and we know that they are all 60 degrees each. That is an equilateral triangle. Okay, an isosceles triangle has 2 equal sides and 2 equal angles. 2 equal sides and 2 equal angles. Now watch this. Super important. These are my equal sides and the angles that are opposite them. Look, this side opposite, this side opposite are also congruent. 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles. Now, guys, I'm going to give you a problem right here. You are going to need to know how to do this. Pay attention. So if I gave you an isosceles triangle and I said that this angle is 100 degrees, I want you to find these 2 angles. Well, we don't know what these angles are. We're going to call them x. But we know that they're equal because they are opposite the equal sides. So our equation would be, you guys need to be writing this down, x plus 100 equals 180. How do I solve this? X plus x is 2x plus 100 equals 180. Subtract 100 from both sides. 2x is 80. Divide both sides by 2. X would be 40. So each one of these would be 40 degrees. Again, let's check it. 100 plus 40 is 180. Guys, I am going to expect you to be able to do a problem like that. Isosceles triangle, 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles, and the equal angles are opposite the equal sides. Now, the last type of triangle that we classify by sides is called scalene. A scalene triangle has 3 different sides. So that is 1, that is 2, that is 3. Now, these hashes just show you that they are 3 different sides. If they have 3 different sides, they have 3 different angles. Okay? Look how easy this is. Equilateral, 3 equal sides, 3 equal angles. Isosceles, 2 equal sides and 2 equal angles. And scalene, 3 different sides and 3 different angles. Okay? So, these words, equilateral, isosceles, and scalene, are classifying a triangle by the lengths of its sides. Now, let's go over here into this chunk. We can also name triangles by their angles. An acute triangle, remember, acute angles are less than 90. An acute triangle has 3 acute angles. So, I could give you one. I'm going to make this 60 degrees, 59 degrees, and 61 degrees. Guys, all 3 of these, first of all, add up to 180, and they are different. Okay, so not only would this be an acute triangle because they're all less than 90, but they are all different. So we would call this an acute scalene. Okay, acute based on the angles, scalene, 3 different angles gives us 3 different sides. All right, an obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle. Now, this should make sense to you. Let's make this up. I'm going to call this 100 degrees. That's obtuse, okay? You cannot have more than one obtuse angle. Why? Because obtuse angles are more than 90, greater than 90. Could I take 2 numbers that are greater than 90? So 91 plus 91 gives me 182 degrees. That's too many degrees in a triangle. You can only have 180. So the rule is, if you have an obtuse triangle, you will have 1 obtuse angle. 1. Same thing with a right triangle. one right angle. And you would use that little box, 90 degrees. Now, these two together have to add up to 90. How do I know? Because 90 plus 90 is 180. So here's naming triangles by their angles. Here's naming by their sides. All right. Now, this up here, I'm not even going to read this because, well, I will read part of it. Relationships of sides and angles. We kind of already talked about this. 2 equal sides has 2 equal angles. 3 equal sides has 3 equal angles. Now, look what this says. The shortest side is opposite the smallest angle. Shortest side is opposite the smallest angle. And the longest side is opposite the largest angle. Now, take a look at this. Look at this picture. Angle 1 is the smallest angle. If I go opposite that, angle A is the smallest side. Smallest angle, go opposite smallest side. Look, 3 is the biggest angle. C is the longest side. So, smallest, biggest. Look how they wrote this. Side A is less, B's the middle one, and that's less than C. Angle 1 is the smallest, then angle 2, then angle 3. We're using less thans, smallest to largest. All right. So this triangle field has side lengths shown in the figure. What is the largest angle? Well, let's look at this. Which one of these sides is largest? That is largest. So I'm going to go opposite that. Angle E is largest. Okay, angle E is largest. All right, example 3. The triangle has angle measures shown. Write the sides in order from shortest to longest. Shortest to longest. All right, so let's look at our 3 angles. What's our smallest angle? Smallest angle is 44. Go opposite that. So R is shortest. R goes first. Shortest. And then I'm going to use a less than symbol. Okay, I don't need that comma. What's our next angle? Next angle would be 52. Go opposite that. So T is next shortest. Our biggest angle is 84. Go opposite that. Our largest size is S. So you can write this 2 ways. R is less than T, and that's less than S. Smallest to largest, or depending on if they just ask you to write smallest to largest, R, T, S. Okay. Write the side lengths of this triangle in order from least to greatest. Well, look at this. We're missing an angle. We don't know what this angle is. We're going to call it X. So before we can list these in order, we need to find X. Well, what do we know? Don't we know that all 3 angles add up to 180? So X plus 101 plus 37 equals 180. 101 and 37. So X 101 plus 37 is 138 equals 180. Subtract 138 from both sides, and we get X is 42. So this angle, I'm going to erase this so it's easier to write, is 42. Okay. Now, we want to write these sides in order. So pay attention. We've got 2 things. We've got angles and we've got sides. Angles are in the little crook or on the vertex, and then sides are on the flat part. So which one is the least? Well, the smallest angle is 37. Go opposite that. C is smallest. 42 is next. Opposite that would be A. And then 101 is the biggest. Opposite that is B. So smallest to largest. sides. All right. Triangle inequality theorem. I do not like the way this is written, okay? The wording is very confusing. Let me tell you how you do this. And I am going to show you this live in school with pieces of wood. If I gave you sides, let's pretend that this triangle has lengths 3, 4, and question mark. We don't know. Okay, so they give us two sides. The triangle inequality theorem basically says this. You take two sides. So we're going to use 3 and 4, and you add them. 3 plus 4 gives you 7. And then you subtract them. Always subtract so it's positive. 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, so I take two sides, I add them and subtract them. And the third side, which we don't know, I'm going to call it x, has to be greater than 1 and less than 7. Watch how I said that. Greater than 1 and less than 7. Or another way you can say this, and guys, you should be writing this down, the third side has to be between 1 and 7. So this side, if one side is 3 and the other side is 4, the third side has to be somewhere between 1 and 7. It cannot be 1 and it cannot be 7. It has to be between those numbers. And I'm going to show you that with wood in school. But triangle inequality, take your two sides, take any two sides, add them and subtract them, and the third side has to be in between those two numbers. So let's look at example 4. Marina uses chalk to draw a triangle on the sidewalk. Two sides of the triangle have lengths 15 inches and 22 inches. What is the shortest and longest possible lengths of the third side, assuming the side is a whole number? Now, this problem's tricky, okay? But what are we going to do? First thing we're going to do, we're going to take our two numbers, 15 plus 22 and 22 minus 15. Add them and subtract them. 15 plus 22 is 37. 22 minus 15 is 7. So our third side, x, has to be greater than 7. Always put the smallest number down here. And less than 37. Okay, so our third side, which we don't know, is going to be somewhere between 7 and 37. Now, that's the triangle inequality theorem. They're telling us that our answers have to be whole numbers. So if I figured out what whole number lengths would work, 7 does not work, okay? Because it has to be greater than 7. So 8 would work, 9, 10, ding, 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 all the way up to 36. So 34 would work, 35 would work, 36 would work, and all whole numbers in between. Okay, because x has to be greater than 7 and less than 37, and it needs to be a whole number. Whole numbers are no decimals and no fractions. So this could be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, blah, 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 up to 36. So it says, what is the shortest possible length? So the shortest would be 8. And what are we talking? Inches. And the longest would be 36 inches. All right. Example 5. Is it possible for the side lengths 5, 8, and 15 to form a triangle? All right. Now, they're giving us the third length, but we're still only going to concentrate on the first two in the beginning. Triangle inequality says take your two sides, add them, so 8 plus 5 is 13, and subtract them. 8 minus 5 is 3. So my third side x has to be greater than 3 and less than 13. So my third side has to be between 3 and 13. Is 15 between 3 and 13? No, it is not. This is not possible. It's not possible. Okay, 15 is way too long. So that is triangle inequality. Take your first two sides, add them and subtract them. The third side has to be between that. And I'm going to show you that with wood at school. All right, guys, follow along in your Google Classroom now and show Miss Terizzi your notes on pages 2 through 5 now, or 2 through 4.